Oh.
Played a stack deck.
Okay.
And look what we got.
Hello. So technically, if we follow the errata rules, it goes to your discard. You put it to your discard.
Discard.
Yes.
Pay 1 power.
Mm-hmm. Shop. Broken. Like, look at the difference in this game, right? The Palti Poro put in the work because it means that I'm further away from a Carthian Rain, like a whole turn away. And Nocturne, crazy. Like, you just see the power that the Nocturne adds immediately. And also the Palti Poro. It's almost like I'm quite good at deck building, guys. Don't tell anybody. Nice. Fourth time's the charm. 4 stat decks, 1 game. Warning, warning. This Annie deck guide has some hot takes. I'm going to share with you my opinion. And of course, you don't have to agree with me, but I'm going to explain all my reasoning as we go. There's going to be gameplay at the end. If you want to see more of these deck guides, make sure to subscribe and give the video a like. Annie has a reputation right now for being quite an expensive deck, and that is due to Kaiser Survivor being a card which I see 3 copies of in every single Annie deck. Now, I'm not saying that Kaiser Survivor is a card you should remove from your deck if you have it. In fact, I think it probably makes the cut with 3 copies, but I have to say it's not anywhere near as good as people give it credit for. If you look at the Kaiser meta decks, many players are actually just playing 1 copy of Kaiser Survivor as their chosen champion. If this card was so auto-include, you would be seeing those players still using 3 copies of this. So while, yes, Kaiser Survivor is a great card, if you remove it from the deck entirely, the deck actually reduces in price by more than half. You go from a $300 deck to something that is less than $100. And I think that there is no better deck in Riftbound that you can play right now for under $100 than an Annie deck without any copies of Kaiser. Also worth mentioning, a big part of the cost of this deck is that the Proving Grounds cards like Annie are inflated because of the shortage of supply. So if you have Annie in the Proving Grounds, this deck is going to be incredibly cheap to play, particularly if you don't play the Kaiser. Like, I am seriously considering reducing the count of Kaisers in this deck myself, even though I own 3 copies, because the replacement cards that you can bring in for this are so spectacularly strong. So yes, let me be very clear. Kaiser is a great card and it belongs in this deck, but it is not irreplaceable. It's not like a 1,000-tailed Watcher. It's not like a Dazzling Aurora. This deck does not revolve around Kaiser Survivor. It's just a good card. So if you don't have any copies, but you still want to play Annie, you absolutely should. If you are looking at picking up singles and you're in Europe for Riftbound, then Card Market is the place to do it, and they sponsor this video. So time for another hot take. Nocturne Horrifying is unbelievably good in Annie. You will not catch me playing this deck without 3 copies of Nocturne Horrifying. And listen, before you jump to the comments saying that I'm crackers, saying that I don't know what I'm talking about, let me break down some of the maths and the reasoning for this. Now, I will add, I'm quite biased because Nocturne is my favourite card in Riftbound, and I've actually ended up removing Nocturne from almost every single other deck that I play. But in Annie, I think that it's better in Annie than it is anywhere else. Now, let me be clear, we don't have that many ways of getting the Nocturne out in this deck, Stack Deck being the main way, but if you think about it, Stack Deck is better in an Annie deck than it is pretty much anywhere else because of the Annie Legend ability that is readying 2 of your runes, and Stack Deck being a card which you can play during showdowns. This is a very good way of getting Nocturne out more consistently. You're not having to use the 1 energy of Stack Deck in your own turn. You can use that 1 energy in your opponent's turn. In fact, you're encouraged to do so with the leader synergy. And Nocturne is best served when you're defending a battlefield, your opponent moves in, they think they've got you, and suddenly, out of nowhere, for just 1 energy and 1 power, you summon a 4 might ganking unit down to the board. And you can play it to the battlefield which your opponent is attacking. That is an unbelievably efficient swing. You are paying 1 energy to draw a card, add it to your hand, and 1 power to also summon a 4 might ganking unit. The ganking on Nocturne should not be underestimated. Being able to go from battlefield to battlefield gives you an unbelievable swing in the early game. A nice bit of synergy as well with this deck is you actually have access to another copy of Stack Deck if you so desire, with the Annie Stubborn being able to return a spell from your trash to your hand. There's a lot of good options of spell cards in this deck, but stack deck is something that you're going to pick quite often, and that just improves the odds of hitting Nocturne. The Candlelit Sanctum is the only other way of triggering Nocturne in this deck, and it is the battlefield which I would recommend using for game number 1 if you have Nocturne in your deck. You then have the option and the flexibility of the beautiful sideboard to take out your Nocturne for game 2 and 3 if you so desire. This means that in game 1 you have so much explosive potential, but if you feel you're in a very good spot in a comfortable matchup, you don't need Nocturne for game 2 or 3, you can just take it out entirely. However, if you're in a tricky matchup, let's say you're going second against Kaiser, the extra tempo and swing that this Nocturne can give you is unmatched. Added to that, imagine you're in a mirror matchup against another Annie player. Being able to summon such a big unit so cheaply is going to totally change the dynamic of the game, and you are going to be insanely favored in an Annie mirror match if you have Nocturne available. Again, we're going to break down the maths on Nocturne in just a moment, but let me show you the biggest example of why I think this card is absurdly good in this deck, and is a card that I would never not include in an Annie list. So I think the main reason that Annie is the best aggro deck is the synergy that it has with Sneaky Deckhand. Sneaky Deckhand is an aggro player's best friend. It's brilliant, but it has a big downside. If you imagine you're going second, your opponent plays a 2 might, 2 energy unit, something like a traveling merchant or some sort of poro to their base. They pass turn, you play your Sneaky Deckhand to an open battlefield. In most decks, you are then going to have no runes available to protect the Sneaky Deckhand, and all it's going to take is one little combat trick from your opponent, and not only will they conquer the battlefield the Sneaky Deckhand is at, but you're also going to have no units left on the board. Okay, you gained 1 point, but you lost an insane amount of tempo. Well, of course, with the Annie Darkchild, you're going to have 2 runes that are being ready to protect your Sneaky Deckhand. That is not only going to give you options to use combat tricks to protect her, but moreover, it's probably just going to scare your opponent away entirely from trying to remove your Sneaky Deckhand. If we actually look at the combat tricks available to protect the Sneaky Deckhand in this deck, it's surprisingly few. Gust is a card I would always play 3 copies of in this style of aggro deck. It's brilliant, it's your best option. But what do you have available if you don't draw Gust? Well, you have Fight or Flight, which while it's a great card, it's not a card I want to be playing that early on in the game. It's just going to delay. It's going to be a decent option to protect the Sneaky Deckhand, but I'd certainly rather use this card at a later time in the game. Similarly, Ride the Wind, you could move your Sneaky Deckhand elsewhere, maybe score a cheeky point. It's not the worst play in the world, but it is going to cost you a power. And again, there's better uses for Ride the Wind later on in the game. Cleave is a great card, but it's certainly not going to help you when defending, as you only get that +3 might when attacking. Falling Star, you can't use in your opponent's turn. Look, it's a great card, but it's not going to help you protect your Sneaky Deckhand. And nor is Voidseeker, because you're only going to have 2 runes available, so Voidseeker is going to be too expensive to protect your Sneaky Deckhand at that stage. You could use Flash, but again, it's just not the best use case for such a card. Annie decks aren't really playing Incinerate, although that could be an option to help protect your Annie, but there's a reason people don't play this card, because it's probably just not pulling its weight enough. Another card which could protect your Sneaky Deckhand is Hextech Ray, but again, most Annie decks aren't playing this. That power cost is putting players off from using this. Well, enter the stacked deck, which is not a combat trick, of course, but when you have Nocturne in your deck, it absolutely becomes one, potentially, if you get a little bit lucky. Your opponent moves into a battlefield, either your Sneaky Deckhand battlefield or the other one, and you can start triggering your stacked decks. And if you hit that Nocturne, you are paying 1 energy, 1 power to draw a card and play a 4 might unit with ganking down onto the board. That is absolutely absurdly strong, and you can even play 2 stacked decks after playing that Sneaky Deckhand. Now, let's not forget as well that you could play your Sneaky Deckhand down into the Candlelit Sanctum potentially, which is also going to give you another opportunity to find that Nocturne and get that huge burst of extra tempo in the early game. So to conclude on my reasons why I think Nocturne is great before we look at the maths, it is just a bit of a high roll card that gives you so much juice when you're in a dodgy situation. You have the consistency of the battlefield in your first game, and then in game 2 and game 3, you've got the absolute flexibility and leisure of sideboarding it out of your deck if you feel comfortable. But if you're in a tricky matchup, something like going second against Kaiser, something like an Annie Mirror, where you just feel like you need that little bit of extra juice, you have the option of just trying to high roll and put it in your main deck anyway. Of course, worst case scenario is you draw Nocturne, and that's never fun for anybody, but you already play Traveling Merchants, which is a nice way of just discarding it and getting rid of it, which mitigates the downside somewhat of drawing into it. And look, I'm not going to try and tell you that it's good to play Nocturne for 4 energy and 1 power, but it's really not the end of the world if you're forced to play this down onto the board. It's still a 4-might unit with ganking that has some application. So I promised you some maths, and here it is. We're using a hypergeometric calculator to determine the odds of hitting Nocturne from stacked deck. So our population size, which is the cards in the deck, is 38. The reason for this is you have a 40 card deck. One of them is your chosen champion, and the other card is a stacked deck. So this is disregarding mulligans and all that sort of thing. So of course the maths is going to change based on how many cards you've recycled and put to the bottom of your deck. For example, if you have already drawn a Nocturne or recycled a Nocturne, that is going to reduce the odds. Or if you have drawn 6 cards and still not seen a Nocturne, that is going to increase the odds. So this is just the general average of how the average stack deck, how consistently you're going to find a Nocturne. So the population size is 38 because we have our chosen champion, and also we're going to be playing a stacked deck. That means that there's going to be 38 other cards we can hit. Again, this is just an average because of course the reality of the situation is there's going to be less than 38 cards in your library, but this is just an average calculation. The sample size is 3 because of course stack deck is going to be showing us 3 cards, and the success in population is 3 because we're going to be playing 3 copies of Nocturne. And the success in sample, we just need 1 Nocturne to be within that 3 from stack deck to be successful. And we can see that the odds of drawing 1 or more Nocturnes or hitting 1 or more Nocturnes off the stack deck is quite an impressive 22.4%. So about 22% of the time you play a stack deck, you're going to be hitting a Nocturne, and about 78% of the time you play a stack deck, you're not going to be hitting a Nocturne. Now, I actually really like those odds, and I think that it's a lot higher than people realize. People call Nocturne a high roll card. Well, suddenly if you're playing 2 stack decks, the odds of you hitting a Nocturne can get very high very quickly. So let's say after we play our first stack deck, it misses and we put 2 cards to the bottom of our deck and of course 1 card more higher to the top. Our sample size is going to be, it would actually be 34, wouldn't it? It wouldn't be 35 because also a stack deck, we're playing another stack deck from hand. So the second stack deck that you play, the population size is going to be 34. We've got our chosen champion, brings us down to 39. We've got the 2 stack decks, that brings us down to 37, and we've got the 3 cards that the first stack deck saw. 2 go to the bottom, 1 go to hand, that brings us down to 34. So the second stack deck you play, you're going to have, assuming you miss the Nocturne, on average a 25% chance to hit Nocturne, 1 in 4. I think that is so much higher than you would imagine without doing the maths. Now we can also check the maths on what the odds are of hitting Nocturne off of the Candlelit Sanctum. You're going to have a population size of 38 because you have got your chosen champion, as well as let's say your sneaky deckhand, which you've played down into your Candlelit Sanctum. The sample size of this one is just 2 because you look at the top 2 cards with the Candlelit Sanctum. There's still 3 Nocturnes and the success is 1, and it's a 15.4% chance to hit a Nocturne off of the Candlelit Sanctum. But remember, every time you're unsuccessful in finding a Nocturne, the next stack deck or the next trigger you find off of the Candlelit Sanctum, it's going to be increasing the odds of finding that Nocturne because those cards go to the bottom and they are therefore not going to be in the population size of the top cards of the deck. So there's my TED Talk on why I think Nocturne is absolutely absurdly good in an Annie deck. Do you disagree with me? Let me know in the comments. If you haven't given it a go yet, give it a go. I think you're going to fall in love with Nocturne in an Annie deck. So we've already looked at all the combat tricks. Let's look at the units. You've got the Traveling Merchant. You can't go wrong. Traveling Merchant also has great synergy with Vi, which is one of your big win conditions in this deck. Vi is absolutely brilliant, and it's your your best way of closing out a game. You can recycle cards from your trash to give a +1 might. That's going to be really good with all the spell cards you play. Traveling Merchant has synergy there as well. Very often Vi is going to be 15 might quite comfortably. Of course, she also has ganking, so she can move from battlefield to battlefield to score some extra points. But as I mentioned earlier on in the video, the combo with Vi and Ride the Wind is absolutely outstanding. You can completely take over the late game and just close this one out with this combo. I'm also playing the Palti Poro. I have 3 copies of it and I would recommend it. I think it's the best 2-drop available in this one outside of the Vi and the Traveling Merchant. That's going to bring us up to 9 2-drops currently, but there is more, which again, a lot of people in my comments are going to tell me that I'm absolutely crackers for playing 12 2-drops, but I absolutely am. Because I'm also playing 3 copies of the Tide Turner. Tide Turner is definitely not a card that I want to play on my very first turn, nor is Vi because of the power cost of Vi. Tide Turner is an option to play on turn 2 if you get unlucky and miss nothing else, but it's just an extremely good aggro tool. You can hide it and do some amazing combat tricks with the hidden ability, very high skill card, but also just when you ready a unit at a battlefield after holding, playing your Tide Turner down to base, they swap positions, you will then have a ready unit at your base which can then go on into the other battlefield. It's a great aggro tool, it's just a great card. I play 3 copies of Tide Turner in every single purple deck, particularly in an aggro deck. So 12 2-drops altogether, which is a lot, but it's an aggro deck, you want to go wide, and moreover, I don't really want to play the Tide Turner or the Vi on my very first turn. I also never leave home without 3 copies of the Noxus Hopeful. I see quite a few lists just playing 2 of these cards, but it is unbelievably efficient. 2 energy for 4 might. What more could you possibly ask for? This card is absolutely absurdly strong. I would never leave home without all 3 copies. Also Darius, great option. It is another card which can close out games. It does cost you a power, but it can ready the turn you play it. I think any card which can ready the turn you play it should be seriously considered. Honourable mention to Vayne. I think Vayne is a great replacement if you don't have Kai'Sa. She's kind of like a weaker version of Kai'Sa. Does quite a similar thing in a sense. The reason Kai'Sa is better than Vayne is Kai'Sa doesn't cost a power if you don't want to, whereas Vayne is always costing a power. And of course, Kai'Sa being able to draw you a card is a nice benefit. So yeah, I definitely like Kai'Sa, but she's not an auto-include card in this one by any stretch. She's probably good enough to make the cut. I would be... I think it's very controversial to say that she isn't good enough. But again, just to reiterate, if you don't have Kai'Sa, it's really not a big deal in my opinion. And I'm actually going to be testing builds without her because I think that she's overrated. So before we look at a picture of what the list might look like, let's look at the battlefields. Arena's Greatest is just going to be a shoo-in. It's a great aggro tool. You can't really go wrong with it. This is going to be your battlefield that you're going to be using when you're going first every single time. The last battlefield I'm currently playing is Reaver's Row. It's a nice aggro card. Being able to move your units back into your base is quite good for an aggro deck. This is definitely the battlefield I'm least convinced by though. You could do a bunch of different things with this one. You could play Zorn Warrens, which is good for your Vi and good for your consistency. Also quite nice with Nocturne as it gives you an extra way of discarding Nocturne. If you do play Zorn Warrens, you also could consider playing 3 copies of Scrap Heap and just sideboard those in for when you're playing Zorn Warrens. Dreaming Tree is also a very good option for when you're going second with synergy with cards like Ride the Wind and Cleave. So here's an example list of the kind of deck I would roughly be looking to play. As you can see, I've got Kai'Sa in the sideboard. That's definitely the card I'm a little bit undecided on. I think 99.9% of people would say just put Kai'Sas in and drop some of the 2-drops, but I actually think that 2-drops in this game are extremely underrated, particularly for an aggro deck. I'm looking to go very, very wide, and I really like the quality of the 2-drops in this deck. Kai'Sa for me is extremely overrated in this deck. I think she's still going to be worth a slot on the sideboard at the very least if you've got her available, particularly because I'm going to be bringing Nocturne out quite often in game 2 and game 3, particularly when I'm going first. Probably you don't need that extra oomph, but I always like having Nocturne in my deck when I'm going second for that little bit of extra high roll potential. Flash is also on the sideboard. This is a card which maybe you want to play 2 copies of. It is a pretty strong aggro tool, but for me, I really like the build that I've got. Nocturne in there for the high roll potential, and then I've got a lot of solid options on my sideboard that I can bring in. And of course, 2-drops are going to be the main cards which I would be taking out to fit in cards like the extra Darius, the Kaisers, all the cards on the sideboard. It's going to be the Nocturne is going to be the prime target to be removing, and also some of those 2-drops, possibly the Pouty Poros in some matchups. But this Pouty Poro is so good against Kaiser, I always want it for game number 1. Yeah, I'm editing the video. The one thing I don't like about the deck I shared with you is that I only had 2 copies of Darius. So I would probably put a 3rd copy of Darius in and put a Pouty Poro on the sideboard. Just swap that round. I love the Pouty Poro. I love the high density of 2-drops. But I also think that Darius is such a good card. I definitely prefer Darius to Kaiser in this deck. The main thing that I really want you to take away from this video is some of the ideas about the deck that I've built. Take some of them, don't have to use all of them. I'm not saying my list is perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but I just wanted to give you guys some nice ideas and some different thoughts and different opinions on how to play Annie. I am going to die on the hill that Kaiser is overrated, Nocturne is great, and 2-drops are also better than people realize. So there we have it. That's my opinion on how to play Annie. Listen, I know there's some hot takes in here, but hopefully you can see my points and take some of my advice. Let's watch some gameplay now where my girlfriend will be playing Annie and beating me up repeatedly with Nocturne. Thank you again to Card Market for sponsoring the video. Give it a like and subscribe for more. And what are you doing?
I keep the Poro in the stack deck for sure. And I mulligan the Nocturne and the Titana.
Yeah, always going to mulligan the Nocturne. I don't think you're supposed to mulligan Titana. No way. Because Titana can score you extra points in the early game, which is exactly what you need. And also, the less mulligans you take, the better in a Nocturne deck, right? Yeah, I would definitely keep both of those. Just get rid of Nocturne, I think is correct.
Okay.
That would be my gut feeling.
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. So for me, I've actually got a very good hand. I think I just do 1. Could have kept it, to be honest. Good luck.
Good luck.
So you're at 1 point?
Yeah.
Just move this slightly over this way, slightly off screen. As is mine. Yep. Here we go.
Interesting.
If you could just move your runes slightly to your right, just because your camera's blocking them.
Like this?
Yeah, that area is all fine. It's your camera's like here, basically.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Going here.
So I target this, which I have to pay a power to do because of.
How much is it? 3?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I use Kaiser effect to pay the power cost, and then I pay a power to. That's my best opening, going second Hex deck, right?
Oh, that's very painful.
Yes, for sure.
4-2, I play Titana. And for another 2, I play Noxus Hopeful. And then I pass.
Sure. But you can see why keeping the Titan is pretty good, right? Just low curve. You want to go wide, really, as quickly as possible. Also, the Poro is already pulling its weight for a similar reason. I'll go 2 for this guy. Oh, I'm also at 1 from this. Let me just slow down for a second. Do you have anything open?
Yeah, 2.
Sure. Yeah. I'm just gonna pass. Leave my Poro at base. Could be a misplay, we'll see. Just respecting your Noxus Hopeful at the base. But yeah, thanks for being here, chat. Hope you guys are all doing well. What's up, Bane? Hey, Baldy. That's so mean. That's so unnecessary. Baldy, what's the score? Sorry.
Moving here.
All yours. But like already the impact of this Pouty Poro is so significant because I had to pay an extra power cost, and that's like what you've managed to do differently, right? Like last game, I could have Carthian Rain on this turn. Oh,
Play the stack deck.
okay.
And look what we got.
Hello. So technically, if we follow the errata rules, it goes to your discard. You put it to your discard.
Discard.
Yes.
Pay 1 power.
Mm-hmm. Shop. Broken. Like, look at the difference in this game, right? The Palti Poro put in the work because it means that I'm further away from a Carthian Rain, like a whole turn away. And Nocturne, crazy. Like, you just see the power that the Nocturne adds immediately. And also the Palti Poro. It's almost like, I'm quite good at deck building, guys. Don't tell anybody. The Riftbounders don't know it yet, but if anything, I think Riftbound's actually... I love the deck building in this game. I think it's extremely high skill ceiling. More so than Lorcana, I would say, as well, because of the battlefields and sideboarding. And also, I think that three play set, 40 card is like much better than 4 play set, 60 card, to be honest. I much prefer it. All yours. And by the way, the deck building in Lorcana is brilliant, but somehow this game I think is actually better, which is extremely impressive.
Pay 1 power. And then I hide a card.
So Darius readies and gets +2 if you care about that.
Not really, because I pass.
Sure. So you're hiding a card there for extra tempo. Interesting. Draw. I like the way you're playing it. Like, look at this board. This is the power of the Annie deck. The Nocturne added a lot to this. In fact, the Darius was already ready when you played it because you played 2 cards already. And yeah, I'm not at 7, so I can't Acarthian Rain either. What I can do, however, is I can go... Stupefy. -1 on Nocturne. Draw. And then for 2 and 1 power because of Kaiser effect, I'll go Falling Star.
That's...
Deal 3 to a unit twice. But this is a reflective trigger, so if I don't actually...
1 unit twice? What?
Deal 3 to a unit twice, so I can pick 2 different,
Yeah.
or I could pick the same. But I don't choose the targets until it resolves. It's a reflective trigger. So if you need to tell me if you're doing anything before I choose targets, which is kind of broken, but...
No.
Okay, so I go for Nocturne and Tide Turner. I think this was correct, but it feels a bit wonky. I'm trying to think what hidden cards you have. Obviously Fight or Flight. There's also Tide Turner. I think I do this. I'll leave this back here. We'll just move in with the Noxus Hopeful. I pass initiative. Spicy. You doing anything else?
No.
Okay. So this dies. I'm going to pay 1 for Retreat onto the Noxus Hopeful, channel a Rune Exhausted, and then pay 2 for Noxus Hopeful. 1 sec. Shuffle my hand. Now you can't track my cards. Noxus Hopeful. Maybe I got another one in hand. Spoiler alert. I don't. Did I gain my point for that?
For what?
For conquering. It was the first time I conquered, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll pass and I ready 2 runes because I conquered Tywin Speak. You'll go. So you go to 4.
Yeah. Draw.
It's Misfortune on the other play map. It's her alternate art. Or one of her alternate arts. But like even with the Nocturne high roll, you're still like, and with the Arena's Greatest and going first, I'm still in it. Which just show, I think the Nocturne's so insane in this deck. Don't forget you've got your Annie
Yeah.
champ as well, of course. I
Yes,
still got my
yes,
Kaiser
yes.
champ, which I'm probably going to be calling in next turn.
Yeah, I start by...
I wonder if I might just change. I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to move, sorry for this, I'm going to move my Watchful Sentry there and leave it there, because basically I'm assuming it's going to die and I'd rather have the card in hand than this guy on the board.
Okay.
Is that okay with you?
Sure.
Thanks.
I play Annie.
Mm-hmm.
Pay a power.
And what does Annie do?
Annie gives me one spell from my discard back.
Yep. Which synergizes very well with Stack Deck and Nocturne.
Then I'll retreat him.
Mm-hmm.
Play stack deck.
Crazy synergies! The Darius gets +2 in readies, and can she find the Nocturne of Dreams?
Nope.
Doesn't happen on this occasion. Guys, if you're enjoying the stream on YouTube, please do give the stream a like. It's going to help out a bunch. If you guys want to see more Riftbound stuff, because it does take a good old while to set this all up. Oh, nice. I just saw that you put a Travelling Merchant on the bottom of your deck. Thanks for that information.
You're welcome.
You need to be careful of that. Technically, I could call a judge on you right now for hidden information error.
Well, try it.
So also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I am in a Carthian range and Thousand-Tailed Watcher range next turn because I'm going to have 8.
Mm-hmm. I still want to.
Yeah, for sure. I can't do anything, so you gain a point, but I draw for Watchful Sentry.
And
Yep.
retreat with this.
Seems reasonable.
And pass.
Sure. You ready all of your runes because you conquered Targon's Peak.
Oh, true. Forgot.
Draw for turn. Cards in hand.
4.
Thanks. Let's go ahead and play my champion Kaiser. I'm going to pay 5 for her and 1 power, so she comes in ready. I'm going to pay 1 for cleave, so she's going to be 7 might while attacking.
Mm-hmm.
And I go here. I think I just move her there on her own.
Mm-hmm. 7. I think it's worth saving Darius, right?
Sure. But where to move? Where are you going to move it to?
I mean, if I move it here,
It would be.
it would not score a point, right?
I don't believe so,
No, because
you scored it last turn.
yeah.
But it's going to be. It's currently it's only at 5 right now, right?
Yeah.
But it could go to 7 if you play another card.
Yep.
So even if you don't have another card that you could play, it might be a good bluff to stop me scoring the other point. But I'm also still have 2 open, so it's probably correct. But yeah, so I win this, I score, and I draw for Kaiser. Ooh. I move here. Don't like the position particularly. You'll go. I'm just going to play this to base. I could try and reinforce this, but I think it's just going to leave me feeling sad. And again, the extra tempo from the Nocturne is still so impactful. And also the Palti Poro, to be honest.
Hmm.
You didn't. Did you channel runes?
Yeah. I was at 3
Sure.
because I'm paying a lot of power.
Mm-hmm. Still got loads of cards in hand, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So here's why sequencing is very important, right? I have nothing open. Oh, I have 2 open because of Targon's Peak.
Yeah, but 2 doesn't help you a lot, I think.
Yeah, Hextech Ray, Retreat, Stupefy. Those are the things you need to play around. Can't play Falling Star on your turn.
I start with this.
Yeah, I think that's correct. All yours. She could have scored. How does scoring a point work, though? Can you score a point on your opponent's turn, even if you scored that battlefield in your last turn? That's actually something I'm not familiar with. Also yours.
Okay. That was easy.
Yep. So now you basically have a decision of, are you going to try and hold both battlefield, like which battlefield you're going to try and hold probably is like your path to success.
Yeah. I like this card.
Yeah, me too. I like it a lot. 2 drops is just very good in general.
I already 4 runes, right? That's crazy.
Yeah, it was open, but can you score a point for a battlefield in your opponent's turn if you scored it in your own turn? Nocturne in Annie is not good. Totally disagree. Did you watch this game? It's not even a high roll. It's actually, I think that's like the mistake people make. I'm like very convinced it's extremely broken in this deck. It's not even a high roll, that's the thing. And the thing is you can just sideboard it, right? Like, you can just have it in your sideboard for Sanctumorium. Well, it's not called Sanctumorium, Candlelit Sanctum.
Do I put everything in here right now to win for sure? Probably, right?
Probably. I mean, yeah, probably. The alternative thing is you could have left stuff at the base and tried to double conk next turn. This is probably correct.
Hide a card, and then I pass. And it's ready
Sure.
to-
Draw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2 power. Carthian Rain. So this is dealing 2 to unit 6 times. But I don't choose the targets until it is played.
Yeah, well, go on.
So you're not doing anything? Okay, so let's go. We're not going to touch Annie. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I have to pay an additional power for that. And this has got 2 damage on it. Okay, here. Damage wipes. Oh no, because it's not combat. Damage doesn't wipe. So I go here. I mean I lose. I can't beat you on both. Bam! GG.
Bam!
Well played. So do you think, because someone's hating on Nocturne already, which is, you know, respectful and understandable, they said it's not good in this deck.
I think it's good.
Do you think you would have won this game if you were not playing Nocturne?
No.
I don't think so either. I think Nocturne is what won you this game. You don't want Nocturne. Awkward one, isn't it? You can't get rid of the Vi, even though you kind of want to. I mean, I'm going to move into Zorn Warrens. Maybe you just keep. I think you might just keep 3 there. I don't know. Maybe you just have to get rid of the Scrap Heap. This is kind of the problem with Zorn Warrens, right? Like, I'm definitely just going to move into there on my second turn. Right? Like, I'm going to go... Yeah, maybe you could keep it, though, because maybe you can just knock me out of it with the cleave. Mage thinks it's cleave and nocturne that you get rid of, and you keep the scrap heap. I don't know if I would I don't know if I like getting rid of the cleave, to be honest. Because I'm going to move in and fight for this battlefield, and I'm pretty sure I would maybe just keep the Vi, the scrap heap, and the cleave here, to be honest. Just get rid of one.
Do I need to cleave now, though? I mean, I'm drawing 3 again, so I could even...
Do you need cleave? Yes, I think so. Because otherwise your Vi dies to Hextech Ray. Yeah, but you need it for your second turn. Because first turn, you just play Vi to base, right? I'm going to like have moved something in there by then. And then when it's your next turn, imagine you just move Vi in to my battlefield without having Hextech, without having cleave. I Hextech Ray your Vi, you've already lost the game. Game's over. I think you have to keep the cleave. So it's probably just one.
Yeah, okay. I'm all good one.
Okay. You could also get rid of the scrap heap, but I kind of don't rate the scrap heap that much. But I think it's probably correct. So I draw. Go.
Okay.
By the way, guys, her win rate against me in this is like 80%. I've never lost to one person so much in all my life. It was the same when
not with Kaiser.
She was helping me, yeah, not for guys, to be fair. She was helping me test Lorcana as well for a big event, and I just got cooked and cooked and cooked and cooked.
That's true.
Yeah, it was brutal. It was very good testing though.
Vi. And...
2 for Vio plus 1 power. Just try and keep those runes off to your right hand side because the camera's covering them.
Sorry.
That's alright. Draw.
I forgot my coffee again. It's cold. Yay.
I moved to Zorn Warrens. Do you do anything?
Yeah. Gust.
Sure. Sure. You go. Could have gone for my Kaiser instead, but I think going wide here is better. No, I don't play League of Legends. I'm playing the League of Legends card game though.
Okay.
But not League.
Vi.
All yours?
Yeah. So I discard a scrap heap. Draw 2.
It's a bit of a risk though, like you going Vi, just moving in here, because if I have Hextech Ray, I kill your Vi.
Yeah, but I
mean, you could have recycled your Gust to play around it. I think you're probably supposed to.
What?
You put the Gust on the bottom of your deck to put Vi at full power. I mean, I have nothing open. Sorry, ignore me. Ignore me.
Oh.
If I had one open though, that's the correct play. Does that make sense? If I left one open, then I think you're supposed to make her full power this turn to play around Hextech Ray. Hextech Ray is like game-winningly good to her if I was able to. But yeah, ignore me. I have nothing open.
Yeah. Okay. I ignore you. That's.
So maybe I was talking rubbish with the thingamajigger, but yeah, no, you would have needed it if I didn't have Gust. Maybe I'm talking rubbish. Maybe the cleave was a bit unnecessary. I think it was good though. I think it was worth keeping.
Poro.
Interesting. Positioning.
Positioning.
Yeah, no, it's interesting as well. Don't mind me. It's probably fine.
Wait, you go to how much?
6.
6. Nox is hopeful.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure where.
Yeah. Almost certainly. I think you're either putting both of them at base or both of them at the battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
I also play Darius, right? So I could play Darius and some sort of like 1-cost thing. Imagine I've got Darius plus cleave, which by the way I do. There would be 10 on its own. So that's what I'm saying about interesting, but I don't know. Maybe it's supposed to go to base with the Pouty Poro. You might just be best off accepting Vi's going to die, to be honest, I think.
Yeah, I guess.
But then also, if you don't do anything, then I can play much more safely. Like, I could just move in with Kaiser next turn, right? But I think it's basically in, like, this position, I'm not quite sure. And again, you can see, like, imagine... I don't understand how people are trying to play Annie without Nocturne and think that Nocturne's not good in this deck. Like, you need the high roll.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even that much of a high roll. It's actually just, like, a roll. It's like 50-50. You just need the extra juice, though.
I pass.
In my opinion. I think this is probably the correct play.
5, 7, 10.
I pay 1 for cleave on Poro. Do you do anything?
No, but
What's up?
I'm just thinking if I should have just... No, never mind.
I move here. So it's at 5.
It's at 5.
Yeah, and this is 3, by the way, already, because of the cleave.
I also play cleave.
That doesn't do anything.
Why? This one is at 5?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but she's at 6.
No, she's still at 3.
What do you mean?
It's only when attacking.
Oh, it's assault. Yeah, I didn't read it. Never mind then.
I might have trolled you by keeping the cleave.
Yeah, I think so.
So I win.
Yeah.
So I score a point. I need to discard a card. I'll discard retreat and draw. I don't know, you're not in the worst spot. I'll move here, go to 3, I presume. Do I go to 3?
Mm-hmm.
You'll go.
Okay. Okay. I move in with this.
So I have 3 right now. So I pay 1 for Stupefy onto Noxus Hopeful. So this goes to 3. I have 4 total. Chain hasn't resolved yet and combat hasn't resolved. You can still draw. Don't forget, this chain can end. Wait. Are you doing anything else? On this chain?
On this chain, no.
Okay, so Stupefy goes through first, so I draw. Void Seeker goes through, so this dies and you draw. I now have initiative. I pass.
I'm at 3, right?
Yeah, 3 versus 4. You could also...
What?
Yeah, that works. Sure. I was going to say you could also retroactively move the Poro in with you to play around Stupefy if you prefer, but this seems fine. So you've got 7. No, you've got 6. I've got 4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I draw for my Sentry. You go to 3. Did you draw the cleave off the Void Seeker? No.
No, that's...
Yeah.
What?
No, don't
No,
worry.
I have to cleave from
Yeah,
round 0.
But that's like a good example of like knowing how the chain works, right? Because if you didn't have the cleave and then you draw the cleave off of the Void Seeker, knowing the fact that the chain resolves first and you can start another chain before combat goes through is extremely important.
Yeah. play Ride the Wind.
Jeez! Yep, you go to 4. And you conquer discard. Interesting. It must be a good card if you're discarding Darius. My go? You could still retreat the Noxus. I don't think it's any point of holding with it.
Yeah.
Ride the Wind's so good. My go?
Yep.
Ride the Wind's crackers, mate. Draw. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Your go.
Okay.
I could have accelerated to like draw a card here, but just develop a big board I think is better.
Mm-hmm.
But you've got that bit of tempo that you needed. You're in the lead, even without the Nocturne. I'm threatening Watcher, Carthian Rain next turn. They're the big things you need to be wary of.
Do I even... Stack deck.
Sure. Another one.
Another one.
50%, over 50% chance between these two stat decks to hit a Nocturne, by the way. It's about 28% on every stat deck, odds that you hit at least one Nocturne. And bear in mind, like, you've already seen a bunch of cards that aren't Nocturne. You've already bottom decked some cards from the Mulligan that aren't Nocturne. So it's actually much, much higher percentage. Probably like, there was like a 70% chance to hit a Nocturne off of these stat decks. I'm not sure if any have been recycled or whatever. Assuming none have been seen at this point, it's probably like 80% chance to have hit a Nocturne with these stack decks. Like on average, when you play Nocturne in this deck, probably the average amount of Nocturnes you hit in a game is around 1. Very, very, very close. Probably actually slightly above 1, honestly. I would imagine on average. Maybe it's like on average 1, maybe slightly under, maybe like 0.9 Nocturne or so. Yeah, probably. Probably like 0.8 Nocturne per game on average, which is extremely high. Yep, all yours.
Discard Scrap Heap.
Jeez! Popping off. Stack deck Scrap Heap is definitely nice synergy as well. And remember, this is I think it's better going second than Zormor and Scrap Heap. A lot of people just put it in the main deck. My gut feeling is it's better in the sideboard, and you have Zormor and says you'll go second, particularly with Sneaky Deckhand. Because game 1, I can like fight for Zormorans a bit more. Game 2, I might have like, when you hold, draw a card. And I can't contest the Zormorans as much in that case. Jeez!
Oh, I went to 5.
Yep.
6.
You need to be careful of a Carthian Rain.
Yeah, I mean, it was...
Yep, no, it's good. It's going to hit you, but that's also the thing. Maybe you just don't overcommit to it too much. But also, like, maybe you need to get it out of me, because like right now I don't know.
Yeah. Your turn.
Sure. I think I'm probably going to be winning from here, but we'll see. Draw.
Could have also played the Annie and get a stack deck back for...
Did you ready your runes yet or not?
Yeah, I did.
Played Annies? Nah, I think this is fine. You want recovery after Carthian Rain. You kind of have to assume it's coming, I think.
Yeah.
So my question is, do I just slam a Carthian Rain? Yeah, probably. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2 power. Are you doing anything? Because I choose the targets when it resolves. Do you think it's very unfair? Are you doing anything about this?
I can't do anything.
So 1, 2, 3, 4. Do I have to choose my own? How does this card work? I have to pay another power. Because it says deal 2 to a unit. I guess I choose the... Wait. How does that work? Do I have to target my own stuff? I'm assuming no. Do this 6 times. Deal 2 to a unit. I guess I can like overkill on a unit. So I just pick like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's no chat. I'm assuming that's how it works. I will go here with Kaiser. Are you doing anything? Stop.
Should I?
Depends if you can. If it's a fight or flight, definitely not. Does nothing. You need the fight or flight. You need the fight or flights to... Yeah, I don't draw, that's true. But you need to do it. You can overkill, makes sense. Or you can target poor and decline to play defect. Ooh, cool, thanks. Yeah, you need to use the fight or flight to gain your points, not to deny me points here. Yeah. Doesn't do enough. So I draw, and then I need to discard and draw. I'll discard Kaiser and draw.
Did you already gain the point?
Yeah. I go here, and I pass.
Okay.
I am going to take a very quick toilet break and not forget to mute my mic. I just have stupid eyes, by the way, in case you need me to do anything.
I what?
Again.
I played Annie. Stack deck.
Yep. Ooh!
Oh, where did I put? No, that one's red.
Yeah, you can play red power.
Yeah, I wanted to do it like this.
Sure. Damn. What a card. I love Nocturne. I'm also only at 5, so I'm not threatening to win next turn yet.
And I take which one to hand? This one.
Vane Socko is saying Vi, Ride the Wind are the kind of cards you're looking for right now. That you could win with like Vi plus Ride the Wind maybe in this position.
Yeah, I mean for 2. I play Vi.
Ooh, there she is! Where's my Falling Stars?
Hopefully not common. And then I pass.
Sure, readying 2. Cards in hand?
4.
I go to 7. Draw. Pay 1 for Stupefy onto Vi. No, onto Nocturne. Draw! Pay 1 for Stupefy onto Vi. Draw! Oh! No, I didn't really. I didn't get it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Pay a power, pass.
Okay.
So I have 6, 11, 15. Obviously, I could have played. You just win from here, GG.
Yeah.
I could have played it differently and like tried to. The stupefiers never saved me. I had to use the
13 here.
I had to try and use the stupefiers to find the falling star. That was my out here.
Yeah. And I have 2 fight or flights. So.
Damn. All right. So let's see it. So you recycle your whole deck for Vi,
Yeah.
which is how many? So it's 17.
What did I say? 12?
Yeah, sure, whatever.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13.
So it's 16. Not bad. Don't forget you can fight or flight something first and then also recycle those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sure. And you can also recycle that.
Yeah.
For Vi. So now she's
17.
Yeah. Sure. So now she goes to 18.
Oh, actually, put it back. I want to take this one and pay a power for it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because now I play this.
Sure, go to 7. And then move everything in, right?
Yep.
GG. Nice. Rematch?
2-1, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yay.